What's up, everyone? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're looking to get your music reviewed, you can hit up this email. That's right here. But right now, you are tuned in to another episode of The Rundown, where I give you some very quick reviews / opinions on some of these projects that have come out, because god damn, there are just so many albums, tapes, songs, EPs, everything dropping lately after a slow start to the year. So obviously I can't review everything as much as I would love to, and this is a good way for me to kind of go down that list and talk about some of the stuff that's come out. So as I said, I'm just giving you my quick brief opinion. I have listened through all these songs and albums, obviously just to make sure I knew what was going on, but the whole idea of this is really just to start the discussion, and then in the comments section you can hit me up and let me know what you think of these projects, and also feel free to tell me what your rating would be. Now, starting off, we obviously got to talk about this Kendrick Lamar track, The Heart Part 4. The other night on Instagram, he put up a picture of the Roman numeral 4, which got everybody talking about maybe his 4th upcoming album. And then he dropped this song, I think it was a day or two later, and everyone's going crazy because, first of all, the production on this is pretty nice. It starts off slow and peaceful, then the sample switches up, and then it turns into this bassy banger, and Kendrick is just going in over all of these different production styles as only he can, because honestly, man, I think Kendrick has one of the best delivery styles / vocal choices / cadences, whatever you want to call it, in the game. He just always has a very interesting style and delivery, and he's definitely bringing that on here, where his flow is so buttery smooth, man. It's like gravy over just mounds of mashed potatoes with sour cream on top. It's absolutely delicious, man. He kills this shit. And I do like the content because he gets a little bit political like everyone else is these days. He's calling Trump a chump, bringing up all the shit going on between Russia and the US. And of course, he talks about how all the votes went down in the States and how the majority of people really don't want Trump to be president. So I appreciate he's bringing that, as you would expect from Kendrick. And I also like how he's just staking his claim on this track as the king, because really there's not anyone who's challenging him right now. At least in my opinion, I would say he's the one who really changes the game whenever he drops. And he's well aware of that. So he's bringing up his discography, how well he does every time an album of his comes out, and how once this next one comes out, it's going to be the same thing. So he actually alludes on the end of this song to that album dropping on April 7th. So we'll see if that's going to come out. But what everyone is talking about on this track is all the subliminal shots, because there are so many on here. There's no way I could break them all down. But people are speculating that he's calling out Blkswn and Drake, because both of them have been known to throw their little invisible jabs at Kendrick in some of their songs. So you know what? This subliminal shit is cool for what it is, but I really wish people would just start calling out some names, man, like Corrupt when he made that track calling out names and went in on everybody. I mean, that would just make it a bit more interesting discussion-wise. Maybe we get some more battles going on, some more beefs that are more legit. But you know what? I don't think anyone really wants these problems with Kendrick, but I would respect the hell out of anybody who would actually come out and call his name out, as long as they are actually involved in this. I'm not talking about just some no-name or someone trying to catch a buzz, but maybe if Drake or Sean would drop his name and make this shit start, but I highly doubt that would happen. Would be cool. But you know what? That's not how the game works now. People tend to just throw subliminals most of the time. But either way, I thought this was a dope track overall. I'd give it a 4 out of 5, and hopefully we do get that Kendrick album soon, which obviously I'll be reviewing. Now, second on the list is Smino's album, Blkswn, and this one has been heavily requested, so I had to make sure I at least talked about this in an episode of The Rundown, so here we are. And I gotta say, man, I was surprised to find out that he was from St. Louis, because this shit right here sounds just like what a lot of these artists in Chicago are making. I'm talking about Chance the Rapper, Saba, Mick Jenkins, and No Name in particular, because what he's doing here is blending rapping and singing over those soulful, bubbly, sometimes neo-soul type of beats. So it really has that Chicago sound, even though he's from St. Louis. And there are even some of those Chicago features on here, like Akenya, The Mind, and Raven Lene was also on there. So I didn't think this was bad at all. I actually think this has a pretty cool sound to it. It's nice and smooth, but I really liked Mick Jenkins' album. I really liked Saba's album, and this one right here just kind of sounds like more of the same to me. It's just way too familiar, so I didn't love this and I couldn't get into it, which is why I would give it a 3 out of 5, but I would definitely recommend it. And this is one of those albums that I could see people putting on their top 10 list, and I definitely would understand it. But for me personally, this just sounded like too much of what I've heard already, and I couldn't really get into it. Up next, I do have to talk about Tuxedo 2 from Tuxedo, and if you're not familiar with Tuxedo, they're a funk group made up of R&B singer Mayer Hawthorne and hip-hop producer Jake One. So if you liked the first Tuxedo, which was very fun, funky and bright with groovy bass lines, catchy hooks, infectious vocals, lots of great synth work and trumpets coming into play, you're definitely going to love this because they've really taken that sound and done pretty much the same thing. I think this is just as good as the first Tuxedo. So I really love this one. It's some definitive barbecue music, some summertime shit that you can turn out at parties and cookouts, and I would give it a 4 out of 5, man. I was going to do a full review for this one because I really liked it, but there's just not too much to break down. I mean, content-wise, it's mostly just fun, dancing, love, relationships, the same sorts of things that you get from funk music. But that's not to say it's bad, just because I don't have a whole lot to say about it, because this shit is some fire, and I definitely recommend it, especially if you just want something that's fun, bright, and light. And speaking of fun projects, I gotta talk about this Devin the Dude album, Acoustic Levitation, because it is just so damn smooth and wavy. I've been a big fan of Devin the Dude forever. He's one of these guys who's been rapping and singing, just blending those styles together for like, damn, it's gotta be like 20 some years by now. And he's representing Houston, Texas. So what you're gonna get with his content is a lot of bars about weed, women, sex. He's also known for his humor and his storytelling, which you will get on this project. So if that sounds interesting to you, you definitely wanna check this out. If you're a Devin the Dude fan, he's not letting you down here because you're still gonna get those smooth, catchy vocals, a lot of hooks that'll get stuck in your head, and a lot of production that is just so damn wavy and mellow, man. Lots of thick bass. You get some very warm strings on some of these tracks. I think this is a really dope project that I hope people don't sleep on, and I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. I wouldn't say it's Devin's best work, and this right here is pretty good. It's definitely a nice addition to his discography, and I can't see fans of Devin the Dude being disappointed, because I wasn't. And for all you Iggy Azalea fans, she's back with a track called Mo Bounce. And this one is just your basic, bass-heavy, ass-shaking anthem. So I can appreciate it in that aspect. It's definitely going to get booty shaken, and you will see that in the video, including Iggy herself, who seems to be shaking what might be a fake ass. Kind of looks plasticized, like some shit she might have got from Toys R Us, or maybe she snuck 2 giant hams down the back of her pants. I'm not 100% sure, but you'll see some ass shaking in that video. And this song, I'm sure, will get asses shaken in the club. So it's cool for that. I mean, I'm not about to hate on some asses shaking. I'm down to watch that, but the song itself is nothing new, nothing interesting. The songwriting obviously is just bounce, 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 asses, etc. I mean, I would give it a 2 out of 5. I love me some ass shaking, but that doesn't make this a really great song to me. And at the end of the day, it's just dumpster juice with a celery stick garnishing it. So it's still dumpster juice, and it's not something that I'm going to listen to or really be saying you should listen to as if it's some fire. And lastly, your old Droog, Packs. This is a dope album, just some vintage boom bap New York shit with thick drums and a lot of sample-based production. If you like that shit, this is really dope. He does have a lot of humorous bars. I like his storytelling, including on Gotta Kill a Cop. This one gets very vivid, so that was one of my standout moments. And he actually has some bars all over this one, man. I liked on I Only where he said that little line about how white people don't fully embrace him yet, but if they do, he's gonna go platinum. Something along those lines. I just thought it was really cool how he was showing self-awareness and acknowledging how the game works sometimes and how, you know, the racial divide and how race can come into play in the industry. But you know what? This is a 3.5 out of 5 to me because I'm a fan of the bars. I like his style and cadence. I still remember when he came out and people thought he was Nas, even though he doesn't sound exactly like him, but you know what? He does sort of have the similar type of style. Some people have compared him a little bit to MF Doom, although Doom is his own thing, especially lyrically. He has a very unique style. But I do get these comparisons. So you know what? If you want some grimy New York boom bap shit, check this out, man. I think you're definitely going to like Packs from your old Droog. And there you have it, man. There's another episode of the Rundown in the books. I know I still didn't cover everything. There's probably tons of albums and songs you guys would like to hear me talk about. So feel free to let me know. Maybe I can sneak it in to the next episode of the Rundown. But I'm hoping to get some full reviews up for Raekwon very soon because that shit is some absolute fire. And I'll probably do a rant review for Mike Will Made It's Ransom too because that shit was pretty bad to me. But you know what? You'll have to wait and see what I think. So thank you for watching this. Stay tuned. We have more on the go. And I will see you next time.